guys, it's Elizabeth of ERW Plans. On Instagram, ERW_plans. On Etsy, erwplans.etsy.com. And online, erwplans.com. Today, we're going to be adding watercolor to your passion planner. First, the tools we'll be using today. We have a set of the butterfly clips that are wire sitting on top of this clear writing board that I got from Jet Pens, but is also available on Amazon. We have a selection of washi tape and a selection of different brushes that I've gotten over the years from various art stores. They're of a varying quality here, so make sure I got all of those, including a water brush, which is a very, very cool tool. So except for the water brush, I'm sticking everything right here into our mason jar of water. We have two sets of Fine-Tech watercolors. We have the matte Fine-Tech watercolor set here. And then we have the Fine-Tech metallic and pearl color set. And you don't want to use these by themselves. I made that mistake last year. These are great to layer on top of the other watercolor set that we'll be using, or on top of some Tombow markers. So just as a word of caution there. And then I got some paper towels, because if you're doing watercolors, you need paper towels. First thing I'm going to do is get rid of the cover, because we don't want to mess up our cover here. It's already got some ink stains in it. So just going to pull that right on out. There's the one I was looking for. Oh. The month of September, I'm doing an entire video games theme because we have a whole bunch of really awesome games that are dropping in September. The main page here is Bioshock themed. We have our Art Deco here, and then our kind of under the sea, I thought the little gold flecks looked like goldfish, color, and then this kind of green color that I actually did as a screen cap right out of the game. So you have all these colors that come right out of the game. It's kind of themed for the game. Every week in the month of September is also going to have a video game theme, and I decided that this week is going to be my Bioshock theme week. The first thing that we have to do is prep our paper to paint. With these particular watercolors, in the past I haven't gotten much bleed through, but you never can be sure. So we're going to prep our paper in two different ways, using the clips and using our washi tape. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set up this side of the paper, since this will have the most watercolor on it, and I'm going to use my writing board and my binder clips and some washi. So we're going to get our paper in there, make sure that we don't have multiple weeks, just one there. I'm going to clip the top directly to the board. And that'll keep it from wrinkling when I do the bottom here. When I'm doing the top, which is how we're going to start though, I'm going to clip the bottom and the sides to the board. You make sure it's really pushed flat. And now I make sure my clips are down. For added security, you can also tape it down. I'm a little bit paranoid about my paper moving around a bit, so we're gonna just clip like crazy here. Now the other thing that we can do, I'm gonna put one of my paper towels underneath the top here, where I'm going to be painting, like so. I'm gonna wrap it around the next page, like so. And then I'm going to clip these pages down with that paper towel between them, like so. Okay. And then we'll just also make sure we clip the bottom ones. Make sure it's real as flat as you can possibly make that. And actually, since I'm going to be going down the side over here, I'm just going to kind of clip it down here. Like so. Okay, you can also take your washi I want to make sure this is pulled real nice and tight and flat. And then you can actually tape the pages together as well. The nice thing about this washi is that it's removable. It's built to be removed, so you can remove this without ruining your planner. Okay, then I can tape that down. Tape this sucker down here. Okay, there we go. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off the things that I do not want to have paint on them. So my days of the week I don't want to get paint on them. I'm going to use a different washi that's a bit thinner. I definitely don't want to lose this week's focus. I might even want to keep I think I'm going to paint over my today's focus. We'll see. In case I do, I'm just going to washi over it for the sections that I don't want to end up with the paint on them. Okay. Not going to push too hard on it. And then I'm just gonna pull my supply cart over toward me here, because I want to make sure that this has a nice straight edge at the top here for this piece of washi. Because this piece of washi is going along this edge up here. So I'll rip this guy and then put him nice and flush to the other washi like that. Okay. Now do the same thing on the other side. And then I'm probably not going to come down the side over here, so I can just tape that down to my board. Like that. Cool. So this is everything that's going to get painted. I'm not going to worry too much about here, because we're going to have a sticker there. And I'm going to take care to make sure this doesn't get painted as well. On this side, I am going to paint the bottom section, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to move this clip up. There's also going to be some stickers involved, so I'm not too concerned. But I'll do that just to prep that, like so. Then over here, if I wanted to take the paint all the way down to the bottom here, I would remove that. Okay, cool. All right, taping everything down on this side as well. I know you see we've got it taped to other pages, but I'm just really want everything as secure as possible. We can even go over up here and tape this sucker down here. Now, if you're like, why are you taping everything down? or in some cases clipping everything down. When this paper gets wet, it's going to try to curl. By taping everything down and clipping everything down as much as possible, we're going to hold that paper in place so that it's not going to curl up on us. All right? Cool. So there's our washi. Our areas are masked off. I'm probably not going to paint into this area, so that's why I didn't washi that off. Okay. All right, I'm going to start upside down like I usually do when I'm stickering. We're going to have the metallics come in second, so I'm going to move those up here for right now. Bring in my colors over here. As you can see, I use the tray here for mixing purposes. I also will mix into this part of the tray here. And then I've got my paper towels, which I'm just going to plop right on in here. So I'm going to use those for two purposes. We're going to have paper towels for blotting, and we're going to have paper towels for kind of cleaning up. So now that my brushes are nice and saturated with water, get started. I'm going to do like an oceany blue color. This is deep ocean, so I want my blue to be more of a blue-green color. So I'm just going to mix it right on my palette here. And yes, I'll wipe off the colors when I'm done. There's several different ways that you can do watercolor. Just so you know, there's different methods to it. There's wet on dry, which is what we're doing today. There's wet on wet. Just move this little guy up here. I just realized I didn't cover this as much as I wanted. So, that guy right there. There's wet on dry, wet on wet, and there's dry, like a dry brushing kind of technique to do it. We just keep adding in colors. We want to keep it not terribly wet because we do not really want it to kind of soak through to the week underneath of this. But we are going to try to lay down a layer of color here. Once I have my big brush laid down with the color, I'm going to come back in with a darker color, maybe these two blues here. Just kind of move it around a bit. And then I'm going to get a little bit darker. Now that my paper is kind of saturated, you can see where it's pulling up, which is why we have it taped down. Just going to kind of come in. Oop, he went under paper. Cool. And then I'm going to get in a round brush. Where's my round brush? I think we'll go with this one here. Yes. Get a round brush in here. We can get some of the green. If it's getting kind of watery, a little too watery for you, just daub it on the paper. I'm going to daub some sections into this green. Get some of the blue in there. Paint, paint, paint. Around our base. Some of this color that we mixed earlier in here. And then we're just going to kind of mix it all together. Like so. And then as you can see, as you bring in the other colors, I'm just kind of making this little circle-y motion here. That's going to work to kind of blend everything together. And I'm just going to keep going down the paper. Now I'm getting this, as this gets less saturated with water, we get into this more of like the dry on dry technique here. Once again, I'm just applying some base color. So come on down. I'll actually go right under the clip here. All the way down to about here. Cool. And we just take what's already on there, daub it in our colors. And then I might even want to add a little bit of a purple to it. Make it purpley blue, like an indigo color. Purple. Just daub that in these spaces. Clean that brush a little bit. Go back to our lighter color. And then we're just gonna kind of smush it, mix it around, spread it around, just get it all spread around. You need to do your blending while the color of the paint is still wet. Just get that light kind of wash of color over here. Wash of color. And then we come back in with our daubing. There's nothing really precise about this, the daubing part. It's just kind of where I feel like the color would go. It's oceany. And then we just kind of come back in and mix it around where we daubed it. Maybe a little scrubby. You're not really supposed to scrub with your brushes. I'm being not particularly neat over here because there's going to be a sticker that goes over this section here. I'm actually going to pull this little corner up here so I can get underneath. It actually looks kind of cool without getting underneath there. Anyway. When you're painting over the tape, make sure you start on the tape part and then pull forward also. Just a little tip that'll help keep the tape from riding up. Cool. All right, make sure it's all blended together. Cool. I'm gonna come back over here, get the pearlescent color. With the pearlescent, the trick is to drop some water on the top. Okay, like I'm doing. Drop the water on the top there. And then let it sit for a couple of minutes. Okay. So while that's sitting, I'm going to go back in with my large brush and I'm going to start the base coat on the other side. Which is this color and this color mixed together. Dab, dab, dab. Paint, 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 paint. And you can see here some of the pages already crinkled where I didn't have it taped down. Okay. Cool. Come back in with our other brush for daubing purposes. Daub in some colors here and maybe around here. Some of this blue. Dab, dab, dab. Darker blue. A little purple. Get our little round brush going again. A little bit more purpley blue color. Dab, 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 dab. And then circle, 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 circle to get it all watery. And as you can see here, it kind of starts to go down into the planner, so I'm just going to kind of lightly pull it down so that it kind of fades in. Like so. So it doesn't look like there's a harsh line there. Ooh. Now I'm going to come back over here. Blot my brush, grab some of this nice metallic-y blue color, and just go over everything with this lovely metallic-y blue color. And then I'm going to fade that into the metallic-y green color. That'll kind of pick up any space where maybe my daubing left some white space. Blue and green. So there's our watercolors there. I'm going to add some blue going down the sides here. So we have this lovely metallic-y blue color, and I can just wash it across. And you can see the difference between where I've painted with the blue and where the metallic is just on the white. It looks kind of grayish colored. Then we'll go back and get up that purple. I'm going to mix a little bit of blue into the purple, make a really nice color. Yeah. And then we're just going to keep going across. As you can see, it's not meant to kind of be on its own. It's kind of just to add dimension to the other colors. And you'll see how that looks when that gets dry. You need to go underneath the other one, grab some purple blue, just kind of bring it right. This is why I use the wire clips, because they can continue to hold the paper, and I can just kind of squeeze under them, like so. Ooh, I went on to the other paper. That's all right. Okay. So now that we've got that, I'm going to flip this guy around and we're going to do the bottom side. So I've moved my clips up to the top here. And what I've also done is I've taped ever so slightly a tiny little border around here that's still going to be white, but just to kind of help keep the paper down while I'm painting it. I'm going to actually move some of the clips from this side over here over to this side here, to the parts that are already masked off. Okay. So let's do the bottom part here. Same basic technique as we did at the top there. Gonna start with our base color. And I'm just gonna use the large strokes. To do our base color. Remember, when we get toward the edge here, we want to start where the tape, on top of the tape, and pull in. Add some water. We're just going to do that real light. And then while the paper is still a little wet, come back in here. In this case, I'm going to use my flat brush. And we're going to start paint daubing. Get these guys wet again. Get my green and my blue mixed up. And we're just going to start kind of, for a large spread like this, I'm going to do something like this, where I start with that color. I'm going to feed in this color here. Then we're going to do a mixture of these two colors together over here. and then kind of mix them and swirl them and pull them out. Then we'll do our purple blue. Just our purple. Go back to our, this, actually I'll make a new color here to mix in with the purple. We'll go with a bit more greenish color to it. Drag it up there. Get more of that blue in. Get a little bit more water here. So we want it thick but not terribly thick. And then I can just take this and basically streak across, blend these guys all together in a kind of wavy sort of pattern. You can also make a wave pattern with your flat brush. Not so wavy. Into the theme here. Do like a curl, like you're at the beach and the waves curling up on you. Cool. Generally, you shouldn't scrub with your brushes. I scrub with my brushes. You shouldn't do that. Just heads up. Just make sure all that's good. We're going to come back in with our metallics. Once again, get them nice and wet. And then I'm just going to go over the areas that had that color, scrub in some of that color. Might even come back in here and mix these together. Get some of that nice metallic color in here. Scrubby scrub. This is a good point to do the wavy, kind of wave situation here. Scrub. Do not scrub too much. If you start to see little flecks of paper come up, that means you have scrubbed too hard and you're now destroying your paper. And we'll just do this across from both edges. Give it this kind of very cool metallic color. At this point, now that my paper is nice and soaked, I'm going to come in here and pin it down again. Keep it from curling anymore. Okay, like so. Then I'm going to go over here, turn this around again and start pulling up tape so we can see the finished result. Since I started painting this side is dry, will dry faster, and I'm going to start with pulling up the tape on this side. That's still drying, so we're gonna leave that bit of tape. Move on to the next side. Make sure it's dry first. Nice thing about using washi tape is it's not meant to be a permanent adhesive, so it pulls up without actually damaging the paper. And right now I can see this little spot here where I had started dragging down some of the lighter color, and I think I'll just go back in. Gotta do a semi-clean brush. Grab some of this, make sure it's really wet. So we have a light bit of color, and then I'll just drag it down. If I drag it onto the timeline, that timeline's getting covered up, so I'm not terribly concerned. Just like the idea of it all being kind of colorful in here. As long as it's not on the white, that's the biggest problem. Cool. All right. A little bit more color to kind of blend the two areas here. Almost has a drippy kind of feel to it, which if you've played Bioshock is like a wonderful thing. It has this kind of drippiness to it, like it was a white kind of plastery surface and now it's kind of drippy. That's still wet. All right, we'll finish letting that dry. Cool. And then once everything's dry, we'll just rotate our planner, take all of our clips off. And then finish removing our washi tape. Once again, washi tape is meant to be removable. However, just a word of caution, make sure you do remove it gently. If the paint is in any way still wet, you could end up with a smear instead of a nice crisp line. And you can rip your paper. Just a word of warning. And there's our base for the watercolors. And if you're wondering, this was the part where I moved my brush underneath, so you can see a little bit came under there where the brush had been moved underneath the paper. Otherwise, where the brush didn't slip under the paper, almost no color. This is still a little bit wet over here. So we'll start with our stickers on this side, and then when this side's dry, we'll move on to that. Next, we're gonna start adding in our stickers. Usually I would go top to bottom, but because we're still waiting for this section here to dry, and this is still a little bit wet, we're gonna just do one page and then move on to the other page, because this page is nice and dry. So get rid of our paper towel. I'll show you the stickers that we're going to be using today. We've got Chelsea Brown Designs stickers, the numbers in gold foil. Weekly Timeline Sunday Start, also in gold foil. Also from Chelsea, the hourly timeline covers in ocean blue. And the Space of Infinite Possibility colors in the color palette Teresa. And then finally our days of the week in this teal foil color. We're also going to be using some Elizabeth Williamsburg planner concept stickers. We have the weekly social media planner and the weekly action plan sticker. This one goes over here, so we'll put that to the side and we'll get started with our social media planners. Actually, first we'll put down our weekly cover sticker. This is the week of September 8th through 14th. Just line it up where it goes. I can kind of still see where everything is under the watercolor. I'm actually gonna just smush this down here so it doesn't curl up on me while I'm trying to put the stickers on. Next, we'll move to the social media planner because that goes right underneath this sticker. When I put this one on, I like to just kind of line it up underneath the other one. And then as I roll it down, try to keep it nice and parallel to this line here as it rolls down. Stickers may have a little bit of trouble adhering to the watercolor, so you may have to push a little bit more firmly on them. Cool. We'll do our Sunday through Tuesday days of the week over here, because like I said, this side we're going to do second. So start with Sunday. We have our silhouette spatula tool to help us lay these stickers down. Like I said, I can still kind of see the line under there. Like I said, generally Chelsea stickers aren't removable, but because these stickers, the sticker paper doesn't adhere immediately to the watercolored paper, that allows you to reposition if you make a mistake. So we'll keep going.
Somewhere beyond the sea, somewhere waiting for me, my lover stands on golden sand and watches the ships that go sailing.
Now I can tape in my to-do list if I want. Yeah, I like that better. And then so now that it's dry, I can show you the only spot over here where the paint came through is where the paintbrushes moved under the tape. And over here, you've got slight bleed through on the to-do list, but otherwise it's pretty much a clean sheet. And this is definitely clean up here. So there we go. Watercolor in my passion planner. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and leave a comment. You can also subscribe right up there using that button. Until next Wednesday, this is Elizabeth of ERW Plans. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.